All right, everyone, I have the craziest thing I have ever discovered in my entire life, and I did not discover it. This is astronomical. Okay, so I'm going to start off this March 3rd on a Tuesday, third month of the year, third day of the month, and the third day of the week at 3:33 a.m. There is a full total lunar eclipse blood moon that is going to happen, right? It peaks at 3:33 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right? Just so happens, right around where I live, it's going to be peaking. The moon is going to be at 33 degrees in the sky. Okay, I'm like, okay, this is kind of wild, because I don't know, just statistically, metaphysically, anywhere you look, this is a very unique event. Well, I kind of went into it and I dug a little deeper, and if you add or subtract 333 years from this March 3rd, every single one of those dates going up to 9 times with the mathematical limit of how many times that can happen. Every single one of those days, every 333 years, forward or backwards, is a March 3rd on a Tuesday, 333. I'm like, okay, well, this is crazy. Well, if you go backwards, 333 times 9 is 2,997. If you go back that far, that is the year 971 BC. Solomon first started building the temple to the Lord in that year. So this is the middle point. I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of crazy. The statistical odds of this happening, even on just a mathematical scale, can only happen once every 133,000 years. That's not including the first year happening to be the temple. And that's also not including that Jesus in 33 AD on April 3rd was crucified in his third year of ministry on the third the third Passover, forgive me. In his 33rd year of life, he was on the cross for 3 days. Then he died at 3 p.m. There was a total eclipse again. I forget exactly what, which is in the 9th hour, which historically was 3 p.m. And then on the third day, he rose to release the Trinity. Okay, this is a little far-fetched, right? This is kind of out there, except for mathematically it is not. If you look at it, this is the most aligned anything has ever been, ever. And it just so happens, it lines up with Christ's death. Okay, so I'm looking into this, and it's like, okay, well, this is a little weird. I try to keep a spirit of discernment. I kind of separate myself from these things until I know that they are from Christ. And I think that everyone should do that. Try to do things in a good way. I'm looking this up, and I'm like, okay, well, what's a Bible verse associated with 333? It is Jeremiah 33:3, which is my name, Jeremiah. Call unto me, and I shall reveal things which were unknown to you. I'm like, okay, that's pretty coincidental. Okay. As I'm looking this up, I'm doing the mathematics. I'm doing all of that. I run a couple of my equations through ChatGPT because some of the calculators were getting a little bit iffy and I needed some quick info. Oh, your free trial expires. It will renew at 3:33 a.m. I'm like, okay, that's pretty weird. And what led me to all of this is actually the star garnet, the Idaho 6-ray star garnet. And I came in contact with some of these older ones, which happened to be, they were discovered in 1937, I believe. And they were kind of destroyed. Like, there's not much you can find about them for some reason. It just turns out the Forest Service hated the guy who discovered them. Then, the Forest Service works with the Smithsonian a lot of the time to keep artifacts from going out and in and discoveries. And well, what I found out is these garnets were so big, so dense, they disprove the entire Ice Age theory. These were formed 15 to 8 miles within the Earth's crust, right? Then I'm trying to pack this in as much as possible because this has been a 2-month thing. Weird start, weird middle, and this is the conclusion. This is what has led me to. And, if you believe that the Earth is billions and billions of years old and the universe, okay, sure. This is not that statistically improbable. except for it kind of is. Within 133,200 year period, this could only happen one time, and that 9 times forward is that mathematical limit. And in between that 6,000 year period, because you go 333 times 9, that's 2,997. So it ends up being 5,990. I don't know. Not get caught up on the numbers. You know what I'm saying? But this is an astronomical event, mathematically, scientifically, astrologically, metaphysically. Anywhere you look, this is the most concrete evidence of Christ ever, because existence itself is lining up, and it just so happens to line up with Christ's crucifixion in his 33rd year of life. And not only that, but I happened to look up, I'm like, hey, this is kind of crazy. Like, let me try and like biblically look at this through a different lens. And Jeremiah 33:3 says, "Call unto me, and I shall reveal things which were unknown to you." And it's what's crazy about that is most scholars agree that Jeremiah 33 verse 3, Ezekiel 33 verse 3, and Daniel 9:27, all it is in sequential order, just in different books. Because you see, Jeremiah 33 says, "Call to me, and I shall reveal things." Ezekiel 33 says, "The trumpet shall be blown." And Daniel 9:27, which is significant, is desolation occurs and the judgment happens. And if you take Jeremiah 33, Ezekiel 33:3, and Daniel 9:27, that mathematical equation, when you add those numerical values together, creates an equation which solves itself and is its own problem infinitely. It is perfection inside of a mathematical equation. And okay, you know, you might not agree with me on some of this, but you can't disagree with me. And I've talked to a lot of people. I've gone through, all these different types of people, pastors, witches, and they all agree. This is the most mathematical, logical equation that will ever happen to prove Christ's existence. And I don't know, tell me I'm wrong. Disagree with me. Try to find something, because at the end of the day, this is the most significant event in all of history. Like, logically impossible. And here I am, it's almost, it's way up there on like the video time, but this is me trying to pack it all in, because this has been a multiple month project that started off with me wanting to make a documentary. And I'm gonna wrap it up with this. I saw some of the original Idaho star garnets for the first time, and since I saw them, I was like filled with like inspiration, like passion, like a drive to do something. Like I've never experienced that in that kind of like seriousness before, where I was talking about them in my sleep, my wife said, and it kind of freaked her out. And the more and more I dive into it, the more and more it just kind of like led me down this rabbit hole. And these garnets, if I looked it up just this week, all of this that I'm saying right now has happened within this week, that has been led by the star garnet kind of like taking a hold of me. I don't know. And I look it up, and the star garnet represents a connection to past and future generations. It also represents a guiding light source, like guiding you to your life's purpose. I'm like, okay, that's kind of crazy. It has guided me to possibly the center point of existence itself, which the center point of existence itself just so happens to line up with the first temple being built in the name of the Lord. And it also happens to not, Jesus' death and crucifixion was outside of this cycle, but it lines perfectly with it. And I don't know, take with that information what you will. I've been talking to a lot of people lately, and my main message for every single one of you, every single one, dedicate March 3rd to the Lord, and go watch this once in existence event, so you can know what I am saying is in good spirits. I'm not here preaching the end times, none of that. All of this complexity, I want to boil it down and tell you that this was created with you in mind. This was created with us in mind. The fact you're hearing this is more statistically improbable than anything you could ever conceive. And God created it with you in mind. And go on this day and just lay yourself before the Lord and just thank him for the sacrifice he has made, and sacrifice yourself on a spiritual level, and just Be present. All right, amen. I love all of you.